Hi, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Nick.
And we are Working Class Nerds.
We're the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, June 6, 2019, and you can find this Take Two podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and WorkingClassNerds.com. You can find the both of us on Twitter. I am at MarcusB814.
And I am at Nick Vern. That's NickVern. And this week's episode, we're talking about Norman's Night in the Cave. Again with Nick Iorfino from Bactrian Games. Norman's Night In was one of our absolute favorite games at Pax East.
Super fun.
But more officially, it was featured as part of Pax East's Indie Game Showcase and was also a finalist in the Best Game category of Google Play's Indie Games Festival.
And it should have won everything.
I agree.
I appreciate that. I also agree.
So Nick here is one of the mad scientists that created Norman's Night In, and we're super excited to welcome to the show. Unfortunately, this is his second time on Working Class Nerds due to our not-so-little audio snafu.
Nick's fault.
But regardless, thank you for coming on, and what have you been up to lately?
Yo, thank you for having me. Again, this is great. I appreciate talking with you guys. So, my name is Nick Iorfino. I've, the developer of Norman's Night In. Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course. Have you, but I know you're super, super busy with Norman's Night In, but have you had any chance to play other games, or is it all work and no play makes Nick a dull boy?
So, I've actually been playing a game called The Outer Wilds. It just came out. It is cool.
I think we saw that at PAX East.
It was there. It was in the Xbox section, I believe.
Yes.
They do some cool stuff. So I've been playing a little bit of that, staying up later than I should, absolutely. But aside from that, it's been pretty heads down dev. But when I can fly through space, I try and make the most of it.
Wait, so I heard about this game. So basically, you start off on a planet, and all the planets are really, really close to you. Mm-hmm. But in 20 minutes, the game resets.
Yeah. So you basically start in this like little home planet, and it's in the fiction of the world. It's your first day as an astronaut, so it's the first day that you're going to leave the planet after all of your training. And it's basically a giant exploration sandbox. You go and run around, kind of piecing together all of these artifacts. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's really impressively done. And then the day starts over, and you have to kind of make your way through this miniature solar system, and it's great. Highly recommend it.
That looks really cool. I'm pulling it up now. I remember.
Are you Googling it right now?
I just did, yeah.
You did the Google?
I have the Wikipedia page up currently. But no, I do remember it from PAX East. I think you stopped at it and I was at something else or something like that. But this looks really cool. I like that 20-minute cycle sort of idea.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Majora's Mask way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Or more recently, Subnautica, there's no cycle. It just things explode and you're done.
Cells, that Castlevania game that I got,
the
Castlevania-like game I got at PAX East, that's what it does. So basically, there's no saves.
Yeah.
So once you die, you have to start off at the beginning.
Oh. Do you keep any gear or something like that?
Yeah, you keep some stuff.
Oh, I see. Well, that's cool.
But you have to go back to where you were, and it's crazy. But it's, you can rush through the whole game in an hour.
Yeah.
But if you rush through it to get to the end boss, you're not going to have all the stuff that you need to
actually beat him. Yeah, you have to do stuff. I get what you're saying. Well, that's cool, Nick.
Yeah.
So Marcus, what have you been up to this week?
Well, okay. Nothing. I've been waking up, sleeping in until 9:30 in the morning.
Wow.
I have not gone to work in 2 weeks. I have played Star Wars: The Old Republic from 10 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night.
Why do I feel like you're lying?
I'm completely lying. It sounded awesome, didn't it? No, so work has been insane. Spring has carried now into the summer, and the phone is nonstop, and I'm working really far from home.
Yeah. In West Hartford.
And it's beautiful down there, but it's a wicked commute. And then when I go down the traffic, so I left 5 minutes later than I should have.
Oh, that's a big 5
And
minutes.
I was in traffic for an extra 25 minutes. For
that's-
5 minutes.
Yep.
So that was the morning, and then it doesn't matter what time you leave in the afternoon. You're just captain screwed.
Yeah.
You're just bumper to bumper. Like, I take the back way just because it's a nicer ride.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that there's a Starbucks on my way home. So I just stop there every day because I'm going to be in traffic no matter what.
Yeah.
Might as well get all juiced up with a nice coffee.
All right. So at least you have energy when
Or
you
a
get home.
nitro cold brew where they put nitrogen in a cold brew coffee and it makes it like mega caffeinated.
No, it makes it like a beer. It's like
A little draft, yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, it does. But I guess they're only legally able to sell a grande.
Really? Because there's so much caffeine in those?
So much
What?
caffeine, yeah. So I got a grande today, and I was like running in place in traffic, but I was just sitting in my driver's seat. But anyway, the one awesome thing that I'm super excited to talk about is we did not beat Brontes in hard mode, but we did get her to burn phase and to about 600K
Health?
which is about 12 seconds away from beating the boss.
Wow.
Oh, dang.
And we didn't even have the full team. So I'm hoping that, we can rally.
Once you have all the starters back?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. I just want to win.
Yeah.
And I want to be allowed to win.
Yeah, like actually,
I just want to win, man. I just want to win.
I getcha.
So anyway, in other gaming news, I bought a laptop.
Finally,
Yeah.
and it's none of the ones we talked about.
None. Zero. So I've been Alienware.
Or die.
Well, I love my Alienware laptop.
Yeah.
But it was either that or I was going to buy the Acer Predator Helos. And then I found an Asus laptop.
Mhm.
And it was a tough gaming series. Basically, it's like military grade. They said it can withstand a drop from like 4 feet and be completely fine.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I abuse shit.
Right.
So that's like perfect for me. And I use my laptop a lot in the shop with drawings and stuff like that. So it can help me. So anyway, so for all of us nerds out there, because this stuff gives me,
A nerd boner?
yeah. It's a Ryzen 7, which is an AMD processor, which I'm not an AMD guy, but all the reviews on it are great. I looked at all the user benchmarks on the Ryzen 7. Everything says it's a great processor. I would never buy an AMD GPU because they're just junk.
Yeah, they're behind.
Well, no, it's not that they're behind. They're just junk. Like Medulla bought some AMD GPU and he sent it back and bought a GTX 2060 because NVIDIA makes the real video cards.
Right.
F AMD. And
Tell me how you really feel.
Well, I will. I will completely. So anyway, it has a 1660 Ti video card. It has 16 gigs of tasty DDR4 3200 megahertz speed RAM. It has a 256 gig solid state drive with a 1 terabyte hard drive. The nicest part is it's got a 120 hertz monitor.
That's sweet.
Screen.
With what resolution?
1080p.
Perfect.
Okay. You ready for I am a resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, just bring it whole back. What are you trying to say?
I got a monitor that has a 120 hertz screen,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. It's in 1080p,
Yeah.
and I'm a resolution snob.
I know.
Okay. I really want to get 144 hertz 1080p monitors.
Oh, like for your desktop?
Yeah. So mine are 4Ks.
Yeah.
They have G-Sync. They're two of them. They're awesome, but they're only 60 hertz.
Yeah.
And I can definitely tell. Okay, so the detail on the 4Ks is beautiful. It's bright.
Yeah.
Because it's so much crisper.
Right.
But the smoothness of that 120 hertz monitor
It's a lot nicer.
is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Right.
And even when it like has a little stress load on it and it drops down to like 100,
Yeah.
it's still smoother than my 4K monitors.
Right. That makes sense.
So the color, it's kind of like
Yeah.
what's a better option?
Right.
But I know that it's absolutely gorgeous. But my wife would kill me
If you got new monitors.
if I got new monitors because mine are new.
Right.
So I did. Oh, but I wanted to thank everybody who sent me messages about
What laptop to buy?
yeah, laptops and what their opinions were, because some had the Hilo, some loved it, some hated it, some well, we know BCAVs and Zen have Alienwares and they love them, and I love them too. I actually sold my Alienware. I just have to ship it out.
Right.
And I'm using it right now because I've been so busy and I haven't had time to put Audacity and everything else on the new laptop.
Right.
Which by next show it will be done. Something that I've been doing other than that as of Tuesday was Dantooine was released game update 5.10.3.
Which we'll talk about later.
Yes. It's a beautiful planet. I did the dailies one day, and then last night, I haven't, I do ops with Rack Evan, and he's a great friend, but we haven't, played, just normal stuff together in forever.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the heroics last night, and they're really tough, and we somehow, some way got Peters to come with us, and we got to do the heroics, which was fun. But
what else you got going on in SWTOR stuff?
well,
I see another note in here.
yeah. So I'm going to be trying out for a couple other hard mode teams. I want to do it more, and I feel like the more experience that I can get will help my team on Sunday.
Yeah, to actually...
Right. Well, to be a successful leader, you need to be able to lead and have as much knowledge as you can.
About the
You can't
fights, yeah.
you can't be the chief of the residents of the doctors without having a clue.
Yeah, without having done the stuff before.
Right.
If you're learning as you go, it's hard to be the leader of the team.
Right. You can bullshit your way only so far.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so Nick,
yeah,
what have you been up to?
So I've been working tons and tons at the hospital in my new position.
Insane.
Yeah,
I don't even get responses to texts.
Yeah.
I'm brokenhearted, man.
It's those maroon scrubs, man. Nick's moving up.
Exactly.
He doesn't talk to peons like me anymore.
Right. Maroon scrubs don't talk to other people. But no, I've been working a lot. I'm getting more and more proficient at all the blood drawing type things, which is good.
Do you feel more comfortable doing it now after doing it for a couple weeks?
Oh yeah, 100%. I did. I think you need 50 successful blood draws before you can work by yourself. By the end of your 6-week orientation period, and I got the 50 in a week and a half. So this is week 3 now, and I think I did literally 40 yesterday in my 12-hour shift.
Damn.
Are you kidding me?
Dude,
there's that many people?
Well, if yesterday, so normally 10 or so is a lot for if you're in in a pod in the emergency room, then you have a X set of rooms, and those patients are yours to look. When stuff pops up, you have to do stuff for them. But yesterday I was in there's a designated lab section, so blood draw and urine collection section of the triage in the waiting room, and so that's all I do is I don't have to do anything else besides when people are in the waiting room waiting to go back in the ER. And they ordered labs for them. I call them over and just do them. There's a little separate corner where I have all a sterile stuff set up, and yeah. So I'm just basically a blood drawing factory.
Well, I have a question for you. Are
Yeah.
the maroon scrubs, is that purely to hide all of the blood that splatters all over your body?
It has to be. It has to be.
No, I don't think so. Because if that were the case, then they would have given us red scrubs, because those do exist. But red is the rapid response team in the hospital. But yeah, I don't know why. I guess it's just what they went with. I'm not really sure why the maroon, but I guess that works out well. That it would hide the blood. Also, this past weekend, I went to a wedding on the beach in Cape Cod, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
Fun little anecdote. My parents thought they were booking 2 rooms with a conjoined bathroom. But it ended up being the hotel's version of the presidential suite. So that was a pretty awesome surprise.
First world problem.
Exactly. They were hey, do you have 2 bedrooms that are 2 rooms that are conjoined or something? And they're okay, yeah, we have this 2 bedroom with a shared bathroom. And my parents okay, sure. And it wasn't that much expensive. It was the same price as just getting 2 individual rooms. And then we went to the hotel, and it was like we opened the door, and we're like, it's like a giant living room area. Like you could have had like a living room and a whole dance floor with like a kitchenette and a bathroom, and then 2 bedrooms. It was like,
it must have been looking at the water.
No, it was actually we had there's a giant balcony that was like the same size as the living room area that like overlooked the indoor pool. It was crazy. It was like way more than we bargained for. But so that was a pretty cool surprise. I felt like I was kind of balling for the weekend.
Balling on a budget.
Exactly. At the same time, Liverpool was in the Champions League final and they won. Woo! Thank you, Nick. Marcus couldn't care less because he's an Arsenal fan. But that was happening at the same time as the wedding. So I think the ceremony was at 4:30, and the game started at 3. So it was like right during the second half of the game when the ceremony was. Thankfully, it was only 10 minutes. So like the ceremony was only 10 minutes, which was like the world's shortest wedding ceremony.
Nice. Yeah.
So, like, I was watching.
Do you love this guy? Yes, I love this guy. Do you love this girl? Do you love this girl? Yes, I do. Okay, you guys are married. Deuces.
Exactly.
Pay me. Pay me.
Exactly. I mean, they wanted it to be like that. They wanted it to be, like, mostly party, I guess.
Yeah.
And you know, like a celebration with, like, you know, just a quick ceremony. I think they were probably nervous that, like, the beach would be screwy, like, with the weather or, like, because it was literally on the sand.
If I was there, I would have thrown you in the water.
I know. I know. But, so it was nice. I could kind of watch the game on my phone. Like I watched it in the hotel room, and then
wait. Are you admitting you watched the game during the ceremony?
No. I watched it
on record.
Yeah. If you could see the smile on his face, he definitely was. He doesn't know anything that happened at the ceremony.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Yeah,
but
he definitely
but
was.
I will say that the cell service at the beach was great. So
that's fantastic.
Beyond that, I played a little bit of God of War, but I kind of went through most of my thoughts on that last episode. I don't have a whole lot to add. And before we move on to break things and our SWTOR stuff, I found this store at the Cape that had all kinds of like merchandise with crazy sayings on it, and I found these napkins that I know Marcus would appreciate.
Does it say Boomba?
It has one of your catchphrases on it for sure. I'm giving them to him now live on the episode. What do they say, Marcus?
It says kick today in the dick.
So Marcus says that all the time. Like, I'm going to kick you in the dick or something if
all
you're being
time.
grumpy.
No, all the time.
Wow, so I saw those. And
there's
I had
20
to
of them, so that means it's 20 times that I'm going to kick you in the dick.
Oh, great. Thanks. Anyways.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
And that,
what?
They're perfect.
Yeah, they're like cocktail napkins.
Yeah, so next time we have a party, these are going to be it.
Yeah, just like have a bunch of regular napkins and then just
upside down so they can't see it. So when they pick it up and they go to wipe their face, they flip it.
And it'll say like kick today in the dick.
Kick today in the dick, and they're going to be
perfect cocktail napkins indeed.
Yeah, perfect.
A little motivation.
In Star Wars news, did you hear about they're making the Knights of the Old Republic movie?
Wait, no, they are?
Well, so it's a mega rumor, but supposedly it's true. Then I talked to Cameron, who now works for Lucasfilm as an artist.
Yeah.
And he said that my custom Malgus painting that he's been working on for a year could be the first of the syndicated Knights of the Old Republic
artwork.
Whoa.
Wait, also, I didn't realize that Cameron had been making you a Malgus painting.
So, I talked to him about it like a year ago, and the setting is Nar Shaddaa in the background.
Yeah.
And Malgus and question mark other Sith Lord, which he won't tell me who he put, is walking down the ramp of their ship.
Oh, that's cool.
With the cityscape behind it.
Yeah.
So it's a one-of-one custom painting.
That's so cool.
So it'll probably be the same size as like the scout troopers behind you.
Yeah, what is that like?
I don't know.
3 feet by 2 feet or something?
Whatever it is. But my point is, it's going to be a one-of-one.
That's crazy.
And then so because I've commissioned him, if
someone else wanted that,
so I have to approve if I like, even if Lucasfilm wants that piece of art, they have to approve it through me.
Right.
And because I can say, no, I commissioned this piece.
Just for me.
This is a one-off. and they can say, the way he explained it is they can say, go fuck myself, and we're going to do it anyways, because what are you going to do? But he said that they're usually pretty good about it. If you say no, they're like, well,
can we change it to something a little different?
What if we gave you this? And they end up like hooking you up with something. But why wouldn't I,
let them do it?
Yeah, let them make prints of it.
Yeah.
But, because I'm going to have the only thing I would want is like, I would want mine to have something different than every other one.
Yeah.
And mine's one of one, where like the one behind the Scout Trooper is like one of like 395.
Right.
So if they did the copies of it, I'm fine with it.
As long as yours is designated like one of one.
Like my Scarif.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like how it has the Death Star still shining on the water.
Right.
Like something about mine would have to be different than everybody else's.
Right.
Because then it's, because then it loses the commission
value.
The value of it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like as long as it's printed one of one on it with, Cameron's signature.
Yeah.
I think that's
But anyways,
fine.
I can't wait to get it. But back to the new trilogy.
Right.
So
the trilogy. I heard that rumor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the Old Republic movie.
Okay.
So it's going to be the Old Republic trilogy.
Yes.
But
I didn't know that it was going to be KOTOR. I just heard it was a trilogy potentially set in the Old Republic, and that was the.
Well, they're saying Knights of the Old Republic, but I can't imagine that that's not where Disney would go.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's going to be like the Dawn of the Jedi, like in the beginning, like where the original, so all the Jedi are on Tython or whatever planet they start them on, and then it's like the beginning of the Sith. And like all the Sith, like the people that want to be Sith, they back up and go to their planet of Korriban.
They start,
well, I think George Lucas changed it to Moraban, but either way, so so it's been confirmed, but it's not official.
Right.
But it's coming, which I've been saying it for years. If they're going to be successful in the Star Wars franchise, they need one thing more of:
lightsabers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because lightsabers sell.
Yeah, and that's what everybody comes. I mean, that's a big draw. Is all the lightsaber stuff.
Something with Julia, my daughter, being so into Star Wars, something that is really disappointing to me. I go to the toy stores and like the Star Wars section is awful.
Yeah,
there's like 10 toys there.
Right.
Like when I was a kid, there was whole aisles of Star Wars toys.
Yeah, it was like all kinds of crazy action figures, all the
lightsabers. So my question is, do kids not play with toys anymore?
I don't know. I mean, no. Well, they definitely do, right?
Well,
or maybe they don't, and they play like on their phones and stuff.
I'm talking about kids. I'm not talking about like kids, like 13-year-old kids. I'm talking about like 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. Like, what are they playing with if they're not going to Target or your local store that Walmart, whatever, has toys?
Yeah.
Or Amazon, whatever. Like, are they not? Like, are parents just giving their kids at 3 years old a tablet and just saying, "Here you go, kid"?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not really sure. I mean, it might not be. If you look in the toy aisle, that might not be a good indicator of what like people are buying.
I walk down the toy aisles.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
they got Barbies and stuff, but like, I don't know. Even like the Marvel. Like, I think about what's huge right now. Roblox, even in there, or Fortnite. There's not even a lot of those toys.
Right.
It's just.
Right.
I feel like, I don't know, what's wrong with these kids? Like, I loved action figures as a kid.
Yeah, I did too.
Like,
I played with a bunch of them.
Yeah, my action figures would chop the heads off of my sister's Barbies.
That's too funny.
and I would rip them off, and she would lose her mind.
Yep.
But note to self, the new Barbies, you can't pop the heads off, because if you do, they're, like, clamped on.
Oh, really?
And they break, and they don't go back, and then you have a devastated child. Because you're like, oh, watch this. And they lose it. But anyway, Star Wars The Old Republic movie.
Then you have to buy a new astronaut Barbie.
Yeah. And did you see the new game art for Fallen Jedi?
Yes. The new poster?
Mm-hmm.
I sure did. That looks pretty badass. But I thought it was interesting. You're talking about the one where it's like the protagonist with the blue lightsaber, and then like a bunch of people around him, and then there's like a random double-sided red lightsaber behind him.
Yeah, that's the Inquisitor.
Yeah, but it doesn't say. I at least when I looked at it, I couldn't tell whose lightsaber it was.
Oh, I don't.
It was,
whatever.
Well, that's kind of interesting that they're hiding who the bad guy is.
Well, I thought the bad guy's Darth Vader.
I don't know, but why would he have a double-sided lightsaber? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
I don't either.
Anyway, so there was that, and then
what if it's Maul? That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Well, they can do a lot. So there was on Reddit. Yes, I said I was on the Reddit.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yep. I was on the Reddit, and there was a post about, how this game can't suck. And somebody came up with the EA license is running out for Star Wars games.
Yeah.
It's at 10 years, and I think they're at 8, right?
Yeah, like they need to make a game that doesn't suck. That's Star Wars. Otherwise, Disney's not going to re-sign with EA.
Well, I don't know how they're going to. If I was Disney World, I wouldn't sign with one person. I would let all of the studios make Star Wars games.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to pay the licensing fee, go ahead and make a game.
Right.
The exclusivity.
Exclusivity?
Yeah. Is kind of silly now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it to a quick game, and I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. Like the Spider-Man game. I think it's stupid that they make exclusive games. Like
for
the
PS4?
Yeah. But I understand you're like, oh, that's going to sell consoles. But no, because a lot of people like the Xbox.
Yeah.
And they play on the Xbox, and you just lost a sale. Just like Halo back in the day.
Right.
Why wouldn't you put Halo on all systems?
Right.
I'm not going to go to the store and buy an Xbox if I have a PlayStation just because you're releasing Halo 460
Right.
on the Xbox Z.
That's true. Oh, I think God of War, not the new one, but I think originally wasn't God of War a PlayStation exclusive?
Yeah, it is PlayStation exclusive.
It still is, right?
Yeah, you can't get it on anything else.
Oh, right.
So if you think about it, in this generation of console,
Yeah.
PlayStation is all the great games
Or on PlayStation.
are on PlayStation.
Yeah. They're either both, or if they're an exclusive, it's a
Well, it's all
PlayStation
exclusive. It's been all PlayStation. They won the generation.
For sure.
But
yeah.
the thing I don't understand is, why wouldn't games how much money? I look at it money-wise, right? Okay. How do I say it? I look at it as, okay, I'm going to print 1 million copies, right? For the PlayStation. That's $1 million worth of game sales.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if you could get $1 million worth of game sales on Xbox One or Xbox as well? I don't get it. I don't understand the exclusives unless Sony is paying millions and millions and millions of dollars for the exclusive.
Like making up for that lost revenue.
Yeah, because I think about it. Destiny 2. They sold, if it was a PlayStation exclusive, they would have sold some.
But not as many as they did.
Right, but look how many they sold on the Xbox.
Right.
Yeah, it may not be as high in numbers because not as many people use an Xbox in this generation.
But still, that's still a big chunk of the market, I feel
Huge.
like. Yeah.
Huge chunk of the market. Anyway, so it's going to be curious to see what happens with the next generation that's coming out. Because PlayStation announced their PlayStation 5, and Xbox announced their Xbox Purple.
That's what it's going to be.
It's codename Purple.
Oh, I see. Kind of like the Xbox One X was codename Scorpion, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't. If Xbox is smart, they have to come out with their console first.
Right.
Because in my opinion, if they don't come out with console first, if the Xbox doesn't come out first, they're going to lose again.
Yeah, I agree.
And nobody will ever go back to Xbox.
Right.
Xbox will be dead. But something that Xbox is doing and PlayStation is doing, they're all going to go cross-platform.
I hope they always say that. I really hope it's true because that's the most annoying thing. Is like, oh hey man, like you play video games too. What do you play on? And it's like Xbox. I'm like, fuck, I have PS4. Well, that was a good conversation. Talk to you later.
Well, right,
you know what I mean?
and even if Xbox starts playing with the PC, that's going to be huge.
Right. Yeah, even if I agree. Although you get murder-laden in first-person shooters, who cares? It's fun for other games, you know.
Right.
So,
anyway,
back at the ranch. Hey, wait! Before we get into real stuff, are you going to get a new console, Xbox Purple or PlayStation 5?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because you don't use your
I don't use it at
Pro.
all.
Yeah,
I don't. I
Use it as a Blu-ray player, and that's it.
I
Right?
don't even use it as that.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, this is going to be crazy.
I should just buy it from you.
The craziest part for me is I have all the Star Wars movies on disc.
Yeah.
All of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yet, if it's saved on the DVR from TBS,
Yeah.
I just watch that because it's
More convenient.
more convenient.
Yeah, I do too.
It's crazy to me.
I know.
But the quality on the DVD or whatever the disc
Is a lot
is better.
Right.
The other option is, what I do need to do is build. Now that I don't have cable because we cut the cord,
Yeah.
I need a. It's gonna sound. Oh, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
I need a network PC for my TV.
What do you mean?
So I need a computer that runs on my TV, so I can save digital movies and everything and have it run through the house as a network.
Oh, I see.
So so Carrie can watch the recording of The Notebook for the 4,000th time upstairs while me and Julia are watching Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. Wait. So how does Carrie watch The Bachelor? Because that's a big deal for her.
YouTube TV, it's live TV.
Oh, okay.
It's $40 a month.
That's cool.
Yeah. But anyway, but I'm gonna have to build. I'm gonna have to either upgrade my desktop next and take those parts and make it. I need a computer for the TV.
Right.
Because now that I'm streaming the TV, like I want to be able to save digital movies. Because realistically, who even buys a Blu-ray anymore?
No, nobody does.
Right, but that's what I mean. I buy the Blu-ray discs for the Star Wars movies because it's like
Cool to have.
it's
like a
just,
collector's piece.
yeah, it's like nostalgic for me as a kid.
Yeah.
You got to have the Star Wars movies on disc. But I mean, my laptop doesn't have a disc drive.
No, mine doesn't either. Yeah, I don't think your new one does either, right? Does your
No,
your desktop doesn't have one?
Nope.
Yeah, none of our computers have them.
Exactly. So what do you? And that's what do you even play it with? And
Right.
when you buy a disc movie, it comes with the digital copy.
Oh, really?
All disc movies come with a digital copy now.
That's cool. So
Well,
you just,
because you don't
punch in a link and download it.
Yeah, and you save it to your Amazon library or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go off one more tangent before I jump into SWTOR.
I was gonna say it's just quite the Star Wars section we got here.
Well, we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Star Wars fan at all. I actually hate the movies.
Well, that's not true.
I know. So I started listening to a new podcast.
Okay.
It's called Sleepwalkers. I'm obsessed with AI right now.
Yeah. Joe Rogan's had a few people on.
Yeah. Well, that's how it started. So I listened to the Lex Friedman
Right.
podcast with him on it. If he's something at MIT, like
I forgot.
professor. Yeah, but
He works on AI stuff at MIT.
Well, anyway, so since that interview with Joe on the Joe Rogan podcast, and we are not sponsored by Joe Rogan.
No. But I do listen to it all the time,
Yeah.
so whatever.
So I started listening to it, and there's this podcast called Sleepwalkers, and they're only on episode 6, but it's talking about how AI affects our current life.
Yeah.
And like the first episode was all the the dating websites and like the algorithms that go through it, and how people just give their info and the data that's being stored on them is crazy, right?
Yeah, all the dating sites.
And there's a dating site, I forget what it's called.
Tinder, Bumble, something like that.
Maybe it is Bumble or whatever.
Okay.
It's actually owned by a Chinese government company.
Oh, Jesus.
So essentially, you're giving all your data
to the
Chinese government.
Yeah.
And they have no regulations about privacy.
Right, yeah, they don't care at all. It's like Huawei phones.
Right,
You know?
and they were talking about how in China, you don't have a credit score, you have a social score.
Right.
So something crazy is if, let's say me and you jaywalk, it actually makes your social score go down because you didn't use the crosswalk.
Right.
And then if you have a bad social score, you're not going to want to be my friend anymore.
Right.
Because you're going to be like, this dude's social score is 5, and I'm 5,000.
I think how it works is I'm thinking of North Korea, but I think North Korea has a similar thing where you can only live in the capital city if your social score is above a certain point. Or your family's got to be in this super elite class of super loyal people for X number of years or something like that.
Right.
to live in like North Korea's capital city.
Right.
I think China works a similar way.
Well, right. So, anyway, so I'm completely on this tangent.
Dude,
right?
there's a Black Mirror episode like that. Where
Well, this is where I'm going with all this.
yeah,
So all of this shit is real, right?
Yeah.
And it's happening now.
right.
So then, and so the Sleepwalker show talks about like, do you have an Amazon?
Prime account?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The data that they get from just that, so I have 2 kids.
Mhm.
One's 3, one's 7 months.
Yeah.
Right? Crazy 7 months old.
I know, right? Yeah.
But
Wow.
I've never walked into Big Y and bought diapers.
You only get them online?
I subscribe and save. I get a giant box of diapers delivered to my house every month. I don't even think about it. It just shows up.
Yeah.
And it costs me $30 a month because I get that and wipes, and I know
You never have to think about it again.
I don't think about it.
Yeah.
But think about it. Like just diapers. And then I see, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they're constantly going to Big Y or Stop and Shop to buy diapers. And I'm like, it boggles my mind. Like, why would you ever do that?
Yeah, just
Like,
subscribe. Just subscribe.
Like, even if it's $5 more, you never have to think about diapers.
That's worth the $5 by a large margin.
Right. So the show,
And the gas and
Yeah.
the inconvenience of going there and
having to go, I'm already at the grocery store. But yeah,
but not really. If you forget one time,
Yeah.
if you forget one time, that's worth the extra money.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Anyway, so back to this podcast before I get into SWTOR news. And it talks about how AI is affecting our daily life.
Yeah.
Anyways, today it was talking about how there's these internet balloons. Have you ever heard of those?
No.
Okay. So remember when Puerto Rico had that crazy hurricane?
Yeah. And they destroyed
Right.
Puerto Rico.
So there's no cell phone towers, nothing. But how do people contact each other? Because nobody uses a landline anymore.
Oh, now I know what you mean.
So Alphabet, which is the parent company to Google,
yeah.
their whole it's Project X or something like that, and their whole job is to invent things that don't that will change the world.
Yeah.
Right? They have these balloons that are basically like floating cell phone towers, and one fell in Mexico a few years ago.
Yeah.
And people lost their mind. Like it looked like an octopus, but it like a
Yeah, it looked like a UFO basically.
yeah, but it looked like an octopus that landed on the ground, but it fell from a jellyfish that landed on the beach from the sky, though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was just technology, and people were freaking out about it. But it's crazy. Like I didn't know this.
I didn't know that existed either.
Yeah, so
well,
basically,
I heard of it, but I didn't know how widespread it was.
These things are so smart that because they're really balloons, that they know that if they go 10 kilometers up, they can catch this wind current, and that'll take them 5 miles. And then if they drop down 2 kilometers from there, that'll take them another 5 miles west, and they can get to where they're going just by the wind.
That's crazy.
And these balloons are smart like that.
Wow.
Anyways, you should listen to it. I'm obsessed with AI. And I'm not talking like Skynet and like Terminator's going to come and get us.
Yeah, but
AI.
just like realistic AI things.
What happened to me? I just went on this ridiculous tangent.
I know. Seriously, good thing we just to take you behind the curtain, good thing we sent Nick away for this SWTOR section.
But we haven't even talked about SWTOR yet.
I know. Hey, since we're on tangents, another good Star Wars podcast. It's from, I guess the parent company is Wondery, but it's Inside Star Wars.
I started listening to it.
Yeah, I sent you the link. There's only 2 episodes right now.
The third one just came out.
Oh, so I gotta go listen to it. It's talking all about like the development of the original movie, and it's really cool.
So I listened to that 25-hour-long book about
Oh, really?
how Star Wars took over the universe.
Yeah.
It was amazing for a Star Wars nerd.
Yeah.
But this is really cool, and I like how the guy's interviewing George Lucas.
Like as George Lucas?
No, he's actually interviews him.
Oh, he does. I thought it was it's role play.
He actually interviews him.
Oh,
he says he's at Skywalker Ranch.
I thought he was pretending to be at Scout, and he was like doing 2 different voices.
Oh,
I think that's what it is.
I don't think so.
Well, regardless,
either way.
it's cool because it's like an interview.
But George Lucas is so like pompous.
I know.
Anyway,
it's a cool podcast for Star Wars
have you listened
nerds.
to it?
Yeah, I listened to the first 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't know the third one was out yet.
Yeah.
But anyways,
in SWTOR news, game update 5.10.3, as I said earlier, is live.
Live right now.
Dantooine is here.
Not on the PTS exclusively. It's on the real servers.
Okay. I'm going to go bananas right now on you, Nick.
Oh, boy.
So 2 things that need to happen.
Okay.
You need to check out our Working Class Nerds Discord channel.
I do need to do that. Part of the problem is I don't have Discord update.
Why don't you put it on your phone?
Because I have it on my phone. I forgot that I don't have the notification set, and I forgot how to undo that.
Okay. Anyway, so in SWTOR news,
Which is
so
a little sad.
all right. So it's been a kind of craziness going on with this new Spoils of War update that's coming for the expansion, and it's all about gearing, Nick. Okay, and I know you haven't seen this because you've been
in Vampire World.
Yes,
Also known as the hospital.
Anyway, so they did a live stream last week on Thursday, and I missed it live because my kids were absolutely bananas and I couldn't watch it. So
kids.
I got to watch it afterwards, and it was kind of good. But anyway, so Eric posted the kind of
Cliff Notes?
Yeah, that's a great
way to say it.
Yeah, and he said,
hey, folks, here's a recap of everything we talked about on the live stream today. We'll be posting a robust blog with the same info in the next few days. Keep in mind that all this is still in development and is subject to change. Here goes. So first section is communication and feedback. Our plan for Onslaught communication is to follow this cycle. Deliver information, streams, blogs, etc. Gather your feedback, circle back to discuss that feedback with you, and move into hands-on PTS.
So basically what they were saying is they're going to be testing out a lot of different ideas for this Spoils of War, and they're going to be doing a lot of things, but it's going to take everybody to test it.
Right.
And what's awesome is I'm fast-forwarding a little bit after this. At the end of the live stream, they said they were going to be on Reddit, and they were going to do an AMA, Ask Me Anything.
Yep.
Actually, it was like AMAA, Spoils of War, so ask me almost anything about it.
Oh, okay.
Because, I'm sure there's still things. So, they can't talk about. So, what they talked about was mostly about the Sork class, the Inquisitor, and the pub side version of that. Pub side, ugh. Anyway. But something cool that they came up with was amplifiers. Nick, want to tell me about the amplifiers?
Sure. It's a new bonus stat that will appear on shells, armorings, hilts, barrels, mods, and enhancements. They're not included in PvP balance targets, and the effects appear on specific mod types, like the shells, armorings, have different types of amplifiers. For examples, armor penetration, increased healing received, and better harvesting results or increased experience. Amplifiers can be re-rolled or recalibrated for credits.
So basically, they're saying if you get an amp that you don't like, you can disintegrate it and get some money.
Cash money.
But something that's cool and going to be really hard for them moving forward with this is it said not included in PvP balance targets. So, people are going to find a way to game the system, right?
Right.
You know that.
Always.
Oh, just like people always find the glitch in Call of Duty where you go underneath the map and
shoot everybody.
Yeah, you get 100 kill death and 100-0 kill death ratio, but what do you care because your kill death went up?
Right.
So, it's going to be really hard for them to balance this, and something that they are going to have to work really hard in the PTS is finding that balance between PvE and PvP.
Right.
And, they're changing the way gearing now is in PvP, so this may help. So they said in the PvP impact, all players will be bolstered to maximum item rating while in PvP. So basically they're saying if 258 is max level gear, me and you go into a PvP match, which I think is phenomenal, we're going to be both 258 gear.
Oh, that's cool.
Kind of like when we used to play Call of Duty. Like, you were even going in,
right.
But if you're a level 30 and I'm a level 20, you may have the Martyrdom perk where you drop the grenade on the ground when you die.
Right, when you don't.
And I don't, so you have that slight advantage to get an extra kill, but
But the gears, like the guns still shoot.
The same.
The same, yeah.
Yeah, we're on the exact same playing
like
field.
I might be using iron sights and you have like a holographic sight, but the gun's the same. Yeah.
And they have only tactical items, set bonuses, and amplifiers will impact your PvP, which
cool.
is cool. So if somebody figures out the loadout, we're going to call it the loadout, or your perks, like Call of Duty, if I have Martyrdom, 10% shield and
Commando Pro
with the exactly
the
with
knifing.
the knifing, and you have advanced healing and this and that, I may have a slight advantage because I have better attacks.
Right.
But you can heal better, but if you don't have a healer healing you, then what does it matter?
Right.
So it's going to be really hard for them to balance this. Something else I thought of is, what do you think about this, Nick? Is in PvP, what if you unranked PvP? Let's go to Siege now.
Okay.
In unranked, there's none of these. Like these don't, like they don't affect you. Everybody's equal.
Right.
In unranked.
Yeah.
But then when you get into the ranked, that's where like the super stat and like the grind to like figure out what your best perks are.
Right.
Affect you and like really do it. Because I feel like when you play ranked, you want the challenge of harder content and playing against people who
actually take it seriously. I think that's true. Like, for example, I think if I remember right, like in Overwatch, a similar thing happened. Like if you just did quick play or whatever it's called, you could pick two of the same character, like on a team.
Yes.
Eventually they did away with that, but then in like ranked or whatever, I forgot what Overwatch calls it, you could only pick one. Like one person from each team could pick one character.
Right.
So like that for that, same purpose. Like, hey, in the ranked version, people are trying to play it seriously, and you really shouldn't have the same character, like two of the same character on a team. I don't think Siege was ever like that, but the same thing exists. Like you can't, there's no certain maps are excluded from the ranked version of Siege because for the same reason you are taking it seriously, and if it's an unbalanced map, that's not fair for people taking it super serious.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Understandable. So
for here in SWTOR with the PvP, you're saying, that having only like the tactical items, the set bonuses, and the amplifiers impacting PvP, that should be like a ranked thing only, or is it just... Yeah.
I think so. Because in unranked...
Like what difference does it make? Just go
like
wild?
let people play it.
Yeah.
I feel like PvP in Star Wars is imbalanced anyways.
Right.
Because you have so many classes and so many abilities. I don't know. And maybe it's because I'm not a PvPer. Maybe I'll ask Kogus about this and ask him his opinion.
We'll have to get a consultation. A Kogus consultation.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
That could be episode 40, whatever.
Yeah, you want to read about the item acquisition.
Yes. So now that you know what the items are, one of the things that is very important in Spoils of War is ensuring that acquiring items is also a good experience. We wanted to learn from the lessons of Galactic Command's launch, frustration around Ossus gearing, and adding on the things we have done well. Okay. Ultimately, getting loot is a loop that all starts with play your way.
Yeah, so they're changing. They're basically saying that you're going to be able to get gear, lots of it, any way you play.
Right.
So whether, Nick, you're just doing your class stories and, that's how you want to play the game, you're going to get gear. Me, if I'm doing operations or maybe PvP, I'm going to get gear because of the way I want to play.
Right.
Or if, whoever, SWTOR is doing Nightmare Raiding, he's going to get gear the way he wants to get gear.
Right. So it says all content is a viable path to getting gear, with harder content being more rewarding. Drops now scale based on your character's current gear. Oh, that's so cool. At a current item rating, breakpoint is when sets and tacticals start dropping. There is built-in RNG protection on set and tactical items. New items can now be freely moved through your legacy. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so
that's
I like
a lot of things happening there.
Correct. I like the way this is. The next section is where I'm really bothered about it.
Okay.
Because everybody. Okay, something that they said in what you just said was, that Galactic Command's launch wasn't great. Okay, and frustration around Ossus gearing. Okay, I can get that.
Yeah.
But I like Galactic Command.
Right.
I like the way it is now. I think in the beginning it was hard, but I really like the fact that
where it is now.
Yeah,
Or
I
prior
believe like
to 5.10.3.
and this is where like the nightmare operations players are going to give me the middle finger. Like if you don't have time to do operations, but you know, we're playing a game that's 7 years old, right? How do you keep people intrigued? You give them the stuff they want.
Yeah.
They want top level gear.
How do they get that?
How do they get it? Play their way.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that's what I liked about the command crates is you had a chance to get max level gear all the time.
Well, it sounds like basically you can get max level gear, but without sort of skipping any steps.
Well,
let me
read the next
further.
section.
Hold on. So the next section says Galactic Command and Conquest. Both of these systems are supplementary, not primary, ways to gear your character. Galactic Command is now Galactic Renown.
You know what that means, right?
What?
Means renown.
Yeah.
Means like the other thing has never happened.
Oh, Galactic Command?
Yeah. They're basically saying it was a mistake with that name.
Yeah, basically. Every rank is now valuable, and there's no more tiers. Whoa. Okay. Renown.
Yeah, so basically if your gear rating is 250, that's the gear that it's going to give you.
Okay.
If you get
or it's going to start rewarding you with 252 or
well, right, but it'll
slightly
be
better
like
gear.
Yeah, but if you're 250, it'll start giving you 248s and 252s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of in the middle there of both upper and lower.
I see. Yeah.
But then when your gear rating gets to 252,
it'll give
you 250 and 258s.
Oh, that's cool.
So basically, they're saying that as your gear rating gets up, that's where you'll start getting the better gear.
Okay, so it says Renown is now seasonal, beginning with Onslaught. So it'll reset each season. Renown crate rewards scale based on your current item rating. Same thing you were just saying.
Yep.
Renown XP is derived from a percentage of all XP earned, including the current CXP perks.
So CXP is just turning into RXP.
Right. Conquest points are also earned from a percentage of all XP earned, and this is coming in 5.10.3.
Which is pretty cool. They're basically saying it's going to be easier to hit your conquest
goals, because if you get XP doing anything, that goes towards your conquest.
Correct.
Points. Yep. This seems pretty intuitive to me. Gear is now also derived in personal and guild conquest rewards. Sorry. Gear is now also delivered in personal and guild conquest rewards. With all of this, you'll be getting much more gear than before, which certainly means you will not want some of it. So what will you do with it? Well, hang on. Before we dive into the next thing, do you want to talk about this a little more? Because I know you don't like this part.
I don't. I like Galactic Command, and I like it. And I'm hoping that, they keep it in a sense where if you're a casual player, you can still get the gear you want.
Right.
End game gear, because the whole purpose of this game is to keep playing it.
Right.
If somebody feels as if they're, you finished all the story and you've leveled up and now there's nothing left to do. You don't have any reward to do the thing you want to do. People aren't going to play the game.
Right.
It's kind of like Osis in the gearing on Osis. People are tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
To get gear. So, either way. So they go into deconstruction. So basically, there's going to be a new interface where players will be able to deconstruct unwanted items, basically reverse engineer it, or they're going to be able to break it down quickly and, get some quality items out of it.
Yep.
And items break down into crafting materials and a new currency. Another currency.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a red flag. Like, there's so many. There's cartel coins and credits and
but how do you make it so you don't? It's hard to not have a million currencies.
Yeah, I get you.
It's not like it's Borderlands 3 where the currency is guns and money.
Right.
So.
Speaking of crafting and new vendors. Crafters will be able to make competitive endgame gear to continue the trend of play your way. Crafters can make unmoddable max item rating gear and mods. They will have some min-maxing drawbacks. Okay. So crafters will be able to make crafted only tactical items. That's cool. New currency can be used on a vendor to allow you to purchase a random item or a specific slot, chess pieces, etc. So new currency can be used on a vendor who appears regularly, has a changing selection of specific set and tactical items to purchase exactly what you want. So new currency can be used on a vendor who appears regularly, has a changing selection of specific set and tactical items so that you can purchase whatever you want. Okay, that's interesting. So you can break stuff down and use this new currency on a vendor who can, give you more specific things that you wanted from the crappy stuff that you didn't want.
Right. Yeah. So basically that's an overview of the live stream. And they were a little vague with everything, but they said, in our show notes, we have the complete Spoils of War blog, which we don't have to go through. I just wanted to touch on this because this is going to be a huge change for this game.
Yeah, this is totally changing the whole everything, basically.
When it comes to gearing and crafting and everything is changing, it's actually making me really excited.
Yeah.
And I'm really scared because I don't have a lot of time to play, and I'm going to have to,
play.
Get in this. So, on a side note, they're taking, there's forum posts up about different things for Spoils of War. And I'm going to say this as I always say it. If you have a question and you don't answer it, ask it. You don't have the right to bitch about it later.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like people who don't vote.
Right. You can't not vote and then bitch about who got elected.
Gets elected, in my opinion.
I agree.
So anyways, so we got our blog post on June 3rd. And it's titled Spoils of War. And Nick, I'll have you read just the highlighted green part.
Sure. Please hold. I gotta scroll back up. Spoils of War! In the upcoming Onslaught expansion for Star Wars The Old Republic, our driving philosophy for how we design our system is play your way. We aim to accomplish this in a few ways. First, we are offering more gear customization than you've ever had before. Second, we want to ensure that the path to getting the gear you want is always available through playing your favorite types of content. And, most importantly, we want to make sure that if any part of gearing is frustrating, that we have ways for you to reduce that frustration. Getting gear and customization for your character is a key part of being able to play your way and one of the core systems in Onslaught.
It's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, I like this a lot because I know when we had Eric on, this is one of the things he talked about, how they want, and that was sort of what they were aiming at with making the whole Galactic Command system, right? With the command crates, is that you could get sort of command crates doing anything, and it's so that you get rewarded for playing whichever way you feel like. And I think this sort of seems to be a little more straightforward to me.
Well, right, and something that is pretty exciting is with the whole, let's say I want to get my, gear rating up, but I've had some bad luck or I'm not at the level, but Rack Evan can craft me my max level unmoddable and all that stuff, but my max level piece of my chess piece.
Right.
And that'll get me through until I can get the one that I can mod.
Right.
That's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's...
and if people enjoy crafting, they can go...
Right.
They can sort of be crafting machines and help their guildies out.
Right. And they're, and they're going to make it so there's protections against RNG. So if you get something bad, you can get rid of it and, deconstruct it and help... to make the piece that you actually want.
Yeah, and still, even if it's not exactly what you want, it can still be productive towards getting what you want.
Right.
That's cool.
I'm excited for it. I'm curious to see how all these tactical items and these amplifiers really let you customize your character.
Yeah.
Because what if you're a Jug and I'm a Jug, but you pick that your lightsaber does 10% more damage, but I pick that my force power does 10% more damage.
Right.
How is that going to affect us in an operation with that power?
Right.
You know what I mean? Is it going to make it go faster? Is it going to be slower because, my force power, I don't have a lot of it or whatever it is. It's going to completely change the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's very interesting.
Yeah. But we don't post our show notes, which we probably should.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, you basically just upload these onto the website.
Oh.
But it's a lot of work.
Back at the ranch.
Yeah, so one other thing The nightlife event returns soon. When is that coming next?
Nar Shaddaa Nightlife. The nightlife event returns with new rewards. Get your credits ready for June 18th through July 30th. Just announced today.
What? So it's gambling. I don't know if they have a new companion. I'll probably go for it. But 2 years ago or a year ago, they released a Gamorrean guard you could win as a companion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a Gamorrean guard is, right? Jabba the Hutt, the big pigmen.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I have one.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's sweet. Something else that was just announced today, which I think is pretty cool.
Star Wars: The Old Republic Community Cantina arrives in sunny San Diego.
San Diego.
It's Spanish for whale's penis. Or something like that. I forgot what the Anchorman quote is.
Anyway, join us Saturday, July 20th at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
The wrong time.
Yeah, the complete wrong time. So it's really 10 p.m. Eastern to meet the development team, make new friends, and get some exclusive swag, which my wife and I did go to the New York one, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. That's where I actually met Zen, and we had some drinks. I talked to Eric.
Or several.
Yeah. And we met there was this one dude there, and he was kind of crazy. He kept buying shots of Cafe Patron.
Who is that?
I don't know. He just liked me and Zed and my wife.
Oh.
And he...
Cafe Patron. I had that once. It didn't go well.
Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, it's really fun, and I think it's nice that they're doing one on the West Coast, even though we're on the East Coast, because they had to cancel this one. The one in New York this year.
Oh, okay.
Because there was those events at the EA Madden tournament.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know?
And yeah, because
EA
whatever company stuff.
So they were probably just trying to figure out safety measures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's nice that they're doing something on the West Coast, even though that's the worst coast.
Yeah, but in terms of fairness, you want to go back and forth, you know?
Well, it's just I'm happy that they're doing another cantina that's not New York.
Right.
Because all they've done is New York.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty sweet, and you get to talk to the devs, which I heard a story, and I don't know if it's true. They said that the most people that play this game don't have level 70 tunes.
Really?
Yeah. So a normal player that plays this game, they'll play it, probably do a couple planets, and then they'll be like, I want to go make a smuggler now. And they stop playing it at level 35.
Wow. So
I'm like the minority.
I mean, I also have a level 70 tune, but my second tune is also level 70, but I cheated. I used the Master's.
Well, that's because if you want to come with us and do operations, you want to be able to be ready.
We actually hang.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I want to bring up, and it's not in the notes, I'm gonna give you a.
Wait, we have a couple other things that are in the notes though, like the guild stuff.
No, this is SWTOR stuff.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm gonna play this out for you.
Okay.
If you didn't play a game,
this
game, and 3 years ago or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, they released a chapter in that story content, and it was a subscriber reward, right?
Yeah.
During that time, but you didn't play the game then. Which I don't even think you were playing the game then. I was trying to get you to play the game, but you didn't.
This is when I said no.
Yeah, this is where I got the big negatory.
Right.
You're like, I'm playing Shadow of Mordor.
No, this is before.
No, it was around there.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, no, Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
That sounds about right.
Okay. So now it's a couple years old.
Yep.
People that don't have it really want it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have it. It's back when I didn't subscribe. I didn't subscribe for one whole month, and that's why I didn't get it. But I was subscribed all the other time. I messaged them, and they were like, nope, you missed a month. You're out. So I've never even played this chapter. So I'm a little biased towards this.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, if you never played the game, but there's story content, but you have no access to it, how would you feel if they re-released it?
I mean,
They said that this is an exclusive thing to subscribers.
So, well, I mean, if you currently subscribe, you should get access to it now?
No, so it was
The deal was that you had to be subscribed for that 1 month.
Yeah, no, it was like 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
Like you had to be subscribed for a while. It was a lull in the game before the new content came out. So they were like, we're going to put something sweet out there.
And it was a chapter of story.
Right. So in the forum, somebody asked Eric if they were ever going to re-release that.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking about you.
Yeah.
Because you didn't play the game.
Right.
But you would love this because you play as HK55.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's so
I mean,
you get to kill all the meat bags.
So even if you even if it was like 99 cents or something.
Well, you can't. So then I would be pissed if I was so what's 6 months worth of subscription? That's $90. So you essentially paid $90 in subscription. But anyway, what I'm trying to ask you is if you knew there was story content as a new player, and you wanted to play the game, would you be upset that you can't get it?
Yeah, of course.
Because it was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was available. You didn't have a chance because you didn't play the game.
Yeah, 100%.
See, I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah, that's not. I don't like that at all. I don't like pre-order exclusives. I also don't like. Same thing. Like I don't like, for example, Mortal Kombat. Shao Kahn's a pre-order exclusive, but you can go buy him for $5.
Yep,
that's fine. I think.
Right. So you get them for free
because you have the alternative. You can pre-order it, or you can pay $5 after the fact. I'm okay with that. Well,
I want them to. I'm thinking is why don't you have a subscriber reward? Make it 6 month subscription.
Yeah.
If you're subscribed from June 1st to whatever 6 months from
December
then,
1st.
December 1st, you get it. And then at December 1st, if you didn't do that, you pay $15 for the chapter, or $10 for the chapter, or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think either it doesn't make any sense for them to not okay. If it was you need to be subscribed for 6 month reward way back when, why isn't an achievement unlock that you've been subscribed for 6 months and now you unlock this chapter now?
Correct.
It's the same concept. You know what I mean? Like if you could have not subscribed for that 1 6 month block way back when, but you've been subscribed for 2 years straight now and not get it, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or either subscribe for 6 months and unlock it automatically and get all of the other subscriber perks along with it, or just pay like a $10 or $15 premium and just immediately unlock it. That doesn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think
that's what I would think.
I would just, if they do it, they should make it a subscriber reward first.
Yeah.
Because people who subscribed all those years ago, I'd be pretty bent too. If all of a sudden I could just pay $15, I would have paid $15 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. In Guild news, Friday, June 14th, 9 p.m. Eastern is the mega event.
Mm-hmm.
Mega
stands for monthly epic guild activity. Marcus runs it.
So I'm gonna try to take the team, and we're gonna go after the hidden world boss on Yavin 4, the ancient threat. Now, there's a lot of work to be able to do it. I heard the boss is really hard. Somebody messaged me and said, "Can you do it in July?" Because I really want to be there for it. Because I've never had the opportunity to do it. And I said, well, we got to talk about that. So, I mean, I would move it for somebody because they messaged me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the difference if we do it in June and July?
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to do it because it's something really fun. And even if we fail, at least it was something fun to try to achieve something that we've never done.
Right.
Also, don't forget that on Tuesdays, every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, the correct time zone, it's mandatory fun nights with the Guild. And that's where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not.
Correct.
And usually B. Kavanaugh hosts that, and he takes us through almost everything in SWTOR, whether it's 60-man ops or some rampages or some conquest stuff. I mean, he comes up with some awesome things. They did a quest line, and they killed a bunch of bosses so everybody could get a mount.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, wicked cool. And I didn't partake in all of them, so I didn't get them out, and I don't have them out. But that's so cool, man. This game has so many hidden things that is awesome, and that AIE knows about.
So, if all this sounds fun to you, go to aie-guild.org, get the Discord information, and get into the chats for all the games that we play or you play or whatever you want. AIE would love to have you, and if you want to get into the guild, ask Marcus for an invite, or BCavs for an invite, or Dent for an invite, or who else, Marcus?
Corley.
Seema.
Zen.
Max. Zen.
Yeah.
Max, yeah. Who else? Mostly Marcus. Marcus is the best at it. Also...
Yeah, so you can't even talk about this. So we have a Working Class Nerds sub-tab in the Discord.
In the AIE Discord?
Yeah, in the AIE Discord.
And I'm super active on it. I'm on there all the time.
No, and people...
Always.
Mal has pinged you. People have pinged you, and you're just MIA.
Okay, so
suck less, Nick. Suck less.
That's entirely fair.
Yeah, absolutely. We have our own podcast channel, and you're just fucking...
I'm in Vampire World.
Yeah,
so
but
the problem is...
Don't you poop? Go on Discord while you poop. Don't go on Reddit once a day.
All right. I'll substitute
So everybody,
some Reddit
please
time.
ping at Nick Vern in the Discord, and he still won't get the notifications, and he still won't respond, but at least we can think in our hearts and minds that he cares about us.
See, the issue is I don't have... I didn't have notifications turned on Discord
You still
for my
don't.
phone. No, I just did it when we talked about it earlier. I went on my phone. And
Okay,
figured it
so
out.
everybody right now go.
My phone will blow up.
Yeah, that'll be awesome because it'll be like tomorrow.
Right.
And all of a sudden your phone's going to start going off while you're at work, and it's just going to say at Nick Vern. You're like, son of a bitch.
I'll have like 4 million watch notifications. So anyways, I have to pee as usual. Marcus?
We'll be right back.
And we're back. So today we're going to be picking Nick's brain about the newest game from Bactrian Games called Norman's Night in The Cave.
My favorite game at Pax East.
Mine too. So
Thanks, guys.
And FYI, I hate mobile games.
I know, I normally do too. So I guess for starters, Nick, you want to give us a little background on how you learned it to code / develop a game, or how you sort of gained your skills that you're using on the game right now?
Yeah, it's all kind of just up in the air. We started the game roughly 3.5 years ago, and this is our first project as a studio. My partner Alex Reed and I we went to college together, and we've been making things ever since, like films, music, games, and we had an idea for a game. And kind of came together, started putting it together, and most of what we know about game development has been learned through this project. It's by far the biggest thing we've ever kind of worked on. So it's been an awesome project, but also learning experience. Yeah, I'm so much better at what I do now than when we started, which is also part of the reason why it's been 3.5 years since we started. The game is in a shape that I couldn't have imagined when we started the project. So it's really cool. It's fun.
That's cool.
So for everybody that doesn't know what Norman's Night in the Cave is, can you give everybody a brief description on what it is?
Yeah.
So Norman's Night in the Cave, it's a Metroidvania platformer. You play as a shopkeeper who sells bowling balls. His name is Norman. He winds up falling into a cave immediately after test driving his brand new bowling ball, and you use slingshot mechanics to solve physics-based puzzles, do platforming challenges, face kind of curious cave beasties, and kind of explore the world around you. Your bowling ball is a light source, so as you go, the cave gets darker and darker, and you're kind of uncovering these relics of old. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's the first time I played it, for like the first, 3 minutes, I couldn't even figure out how to move. And then I realized you actually like have to hit Norman with the bowling ball in the gut.
Yeah. And that flings him.
Yeah.
So
and it flings you, and I was like, oh. I feel like a dope.
Right. Yeah. Just to clarify, the slingshot. What Nick's referring to as a slingshot is you on a touch screen for like a phone or something. You click, press Norman, and then drag a bowling ball in the opposite direction you want to go. So then you click Norman, drag a bowling ball, say to the left, and then let it go, and the bowling ball will fling into Norman, and then fling him to the right, like however far, depending on how far back you pull back the bowling ball.
Giant punch in the gut.
Right.
Yeah. Or a kick in the dick.
Exactly. Exactly. So, did Bactrian Games sort of start just as you guys started making the game? We said, oh, we should probably have a development company that goes along with this instead of just the Nick and Alex show?
Yeah. I mean, more or less, we kind of came together. We'd been working on this project for a bit and wanted to kind of build a bigger studio around it. So obviously this has been 100% of our focus. And the goal is for this to kind of fund a second bigger project. And along the way, we've been fortunate enough to win a couple like awards and get some attention. So our scope kind of in relation to that positive feedback has grown to make Norman's Night In a little bit bigger than what we what we initially planned on. But yeah, so from that, I guess we built the company, and with that comes all of the marketing responsibilities and all of that.
Right.
Sure. Now you said it won us some awards. How did it all start for you? How do you go from not creating a game to creating a game?
Right. If I remember right, there's some kind of game jam or something, did you say?
Yeah, this actually started at a game jam, which is, for those of you that don't know, 48 hours, you get together with a big group of people, and sometimes there's a prompt, sometimes there's not, and you basically just start a new game and put as much work into it as possible. By the end of the weekend, you have a prototype for something, and it's mostly meant for like learning and collaboration, meeting new people, that kind of thing. Super awesome event. Highly recommend it if you're into game development whatsoever. But yeah, this started, the two of us had an idea for like a co-op game where one player had the same computer, one player had WASD and the other had the mouse. And from that, the mouse control, we came up with like the slingshot idea, and it was far more interesting and fun than anything else we came up with that weekend. So we kind of scrapped everything else and decided to build a game around this core quirky mechanic.
That's cool. So I guess my next question would be, what made you focus on like a mobile platform rather than consoles? Was it mostly because of that mechanic lending itself more to a touchscreen mobile platform, or was it more of like a marketing decision?
No, entirely mechanics driven. So historically, we've been PC gamers, pretty exclusively PC and console. And when we came up with this mechanic, I mean, it's like one-touch slingshot mechanic. It works super well on touchscreens. So our goal when we started, we had a lot of conversations about determining how to go about making a mobile game without it feeling like one. That was kind of a goal of the project, is we wanted to make something that was a point of entry for people who aren't mobile gamers, and somewhat of a change of pace for those who are.
Right.
So
that's how you roped us in, basically.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like when we first started, that was kind of the goal that we came up with, to like build something that felt more like the games that we grew up playing, and but was well suited for mobile, and increasingly so. And now to like a majority, the feedback that we get like is, this doesn't feel like a mobile game, or I don't like mobile games, or anything in that, but this game is awesome. And it's been super awesome to hear that, because that's been our goal with this project. Like I do all of the art, so it's all hand painted. Like all of the mechanics are built for mobile, so you can sit and make progress in 5-10 minutes, or you could sit and kind of play 2-3 hours and make some serious narrative progress in the game.
Speaking of hours, how long is the game?
So the goal, and where I think it'll kind of land is somewhere around the 6 to 8 hour mark. It
That's
all
a long
depends
game.
on skill level. So some people pick it up and like instantly get it, kind of breeze through, and yeah, other people it takes a little bit longer.
Other people need to have the developer come in over their shoulder and say, "Oh
Yeah.
no, you need to
Excuse
drag
me.
the bowling ball back," and then Norman moves.
Yeah, and then following that'll be the single player narrative kind of campaign. Once that's done, you kind of like it tells the tale of Norman, and but then we'll have speedrun modes and level select, stuff like that. But it's really
good.
meant for like a single player narrative focus game, and it's premium, so you're not going to be like watching ads or like paying for in-game currency or anything like that. It's you buy it once, you have it. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I think that's smart, because I mean, would you guys put out like a demo that's maybe like the first 2 levels or something, or like?
Yeah, that's definitely something we're considering. I mean, just like the mobile market, people like free things,
Right.
Mhm.
and having a demo, I think would help kind of bring people in, see what the game, how it's different, how it's
Right.
maybe of interest to them. Yeah, so we might have kind of a demo first couple levels, kind of a thing.
That's cool. And do you guys have a rough idea for like a price point yet?
Yeah.
Are you in trouble right now? Are the police at your house?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's getting buck wild outside.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It happens that people, the sirens go by Marcus's house all the time, but we're just happen to be in the basement, so we get shielded from it. But
We're in the cave.
we're in the cave with Norman.
But price point, yeah. So it'll be. So I've been talking about how this is kind of built as a mobile game. It's also going to be on PC and
Through Steam.
potentially consoles. We're kind of working on that now.
Mm-hmm.
It works super well with the controller, like way better than I expected it to. So when we were building it, we're like, okay, we'll have a PC element for people who are more interested in that, and it ends up working really, really well with controller. So that's a new feature, but pricing for mobile will be somewhere around the $3.99, $2.99, $3.99 point, and then for Steam, it'll be Steam and console somewhere around the $7.99.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, because I've never put a game on anything. Do they charge you to put a game on their system?
There aren't, like, I guess the only charges are the application fees, which are relatively small. The main thing is revenue cut. So I think industry standard for most storefronts is 30%.
Sure.
Sorry
okay.
about the friggin' sirens.
That's okay.
It's making this is like we're doing Law and Order.
Yeah.
It's hyping up the game. That's all.
Yeah. Increase the intensity a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it works really well. The control mechanic works really well with a controller. How I know on mobile you sort of touch the screen and move it over. How does that work with? Are you using an analog stick to do the same thing? Sort of like
essentially
moving the stick in the opposite direction, then let it go.
Yeah. So you have the stick, and then you have like a release button, and there's something nice to the tactility of the controller. Like you move it, and it has like a little bit. It adds a different kind of aspect to the gameplay, which I've been having fun with because, yeah, we added controller support, I think, just before last time we spoke, so a couple weeks ago, and it's been a fun change of pace for some of our playtesting.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, am I going to play it on a controller or am I going to play it
This is what I'll say. It's definitely built for and designed for a more mobile experience, and that is to say, like, if you're commuting and you're not driving, or if you're, I don't know, laying in bed, it's like the mechanic, as you guys played at PAX, is, I don't know.
Well,
I think it's super interesting on push devices.
Oh, yeah. So when we showed up to your booth, me and Nick have been walking around for a while,
We were drawn in by the name, of course, because
Yeah,
my
well,
dad's name is Norman.
Yeah, we were drawn in by
Yeah.
the name, and then you had these rubber, like Pilates balls, like birthing balls on the
Birthday
ground.
balls. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm going to sit on this thing. And I sat on it and, like, got wicked squished. And I was, like, spreading out my legs. I'm like, if this ball pops with me on it, I'm going to be wicked pissed. And next thing, like, 30 minutes later, I look up and I'm like,
Oh, my God. We've been playing this whole time.
wow.
Yeah.
It was definitely nice to be on a tablet because you could see more of the screen. But, Nick,
Mhm.
you saw it on a phone.
Yeah, no, it was great. We initially played on a tablet, and then I think one of the days we came back, Alex was nice enough to hand me his phone because 3 other people were playing on the tablets.
Andy gave us the multi-pass to where we left off the last time.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, that was sweet. He
Yeah.
skipped us ahead to where we were, which was awesome.
Where you had to like hit like something to like light a candle.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Or
Mhm.
it was something. I don't know.
It was cool.
I want to play it.
I do too.
Well, I think the hard part is because you screwed up the sound, Nick, of the last episode.
Yeah.
That
I did not screw it up. It was a joint. It was a joint screw up between Marcus.
no,
and
it was all me.
Well,
it was all my fault.
No,
No, it was all my fault.
I'd say like 40% your fault with the mixer, and then 60% that we didn't realize Google Hangout would like destroy the audio as much as it
Yeah.
did
But now that we've talked about this twice, now I've got like that twitch, like
to play.
God damn it, like I just
Right.
want to play it. But anyway, so we got a little
Off track.
yeah, because I just want to play the game.
One more thing I want. Well, I have a couple things, but next of which, obviously Marcus and I really, really like the game. But from the intro, we're not alone in our excitement. So what, besides the a couple awards we mentioned, what has the reception been like whenever you showcase your game?
It's been awesome. I mean, going to PAX, like PAX was, they were gracious enough to like kind of give us the indie showcase booth. We were one of 4 games, and that was huge for us because it meant obviously we could see and interact with people who would be interested in the game, but also like playtesting. Like we had over 700 people play the game
Wow.
over the weekend, and it was like got a ton of awesome feedback. And probably my favorite feedback that we've gotten. We were at a conference in Seattle, and there's this guy who's kind of like pacing through. I'd seen him the couple days before, and he would kind of stop at the indie section, look over, and not really do anything. And he was super recognizable kind of guy, but clearly didn't want to engage like verbally with any of the people because he would just stop and go from booth to booth. And then one of the days he was walking by again, and I kind of got his attention, stopped him, and he and I got to talking. 15 minutes later, he finally kind of like, yeah, I'll try the game, plays it, and it was similar to like you guys. He was there for basically our whole demo at this thing, and he kind of stands up when we're talking, having a good conversation, and he pulls out his like bag, reaches in to get some business cards, which typically means he's not just handing them out willy-nilly. I felt pretty good about that.
Yeah.
But he pulls out this like aluminum card. It's like sheathed and protected. It's engraved with his name and like stamped through with the logo. Super nice card. He like hands it to me, and he's like, he kind of chuckles and says, "Reminds me of my old days. Have you heard of a game called The Oregon Trail?" And he was one of like I think 6 developers on the Oregon Trail, which is
Wow,
nuts.
that's so crazy.
Yeah, it was the coolest. It was the coolest thing.
Okay, hold on. Even crazier. Marcus has apparently never heard of the Oregon Trail. You've never played the Oregon Trail back in the day? Are you kidding? You never died of dysentery 400 times in a row? Crossing the river?
That's all I did as a child. Die of dysentery.
Right. I played that a bunch. Mark, you definitely played it.
No,
they had it on like the school computers and stuff.
Nope.
Well, anyways, back in
I'm
the
Googling it.
Well, that makes my story a little less cool. But
No, it's cool. It's going to be cool for all the people listening and for me. That's awesome. That's so crazy that like he was just kind of lurking in the shadows and then like slowly approach. And also he had like an unbelievable business card. That's cool.
yeah, I mean he works at some company now doing like I don't know, business development or something. Super nice guy. But it was one of those moments where I was like, oh dang, This was.
Yeah,
I was not expecting anything like this.
Yeah.
I definitely never played that game.
You never played Oregon Trail?
Nope.
Oh, I did.
But either way, but it just goes to show, Nick, that your game is awesome, and you get sucked into it.
Without trying, like it just kind of happens.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So-
it's been cool.
I guess before we start wrapping things up here, where and when, roughly, if you don't have an exact date yet, can we buy and play Norman's Night In?
Yeah, so it will be released this summer. I can't get into the formal date yet, but it'll be announced pretty soon.
shit's weak.
Well, can you give like a rough time frame? Are you looking at
Well,
like...
he just did. He said summer. Summer's 8 weeks. Summer.
I will
is
stick
8
with
weeks.
summer.
Yeah. So you're thinking like late July, early August, roughly? I mean, like there's got to be a rough time frame,
He's
not
not
just
gonna,
like.
Nick. He's not going to tell you.
I think okay, if you're looking at like end of August, okay, that's fine, but that could be like the middle to the end. If you're looking at like first week of
Just
September.
let's put the game out tomorrow.
No, I'm only kidding. But so anyway, summer 2019.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
coming
About
up.
goddamn time.
so it'll be all the like both app stores, Google Play
Yep.
and Apple App Store, and
Yep.
then Steam, and then maybe consoles later.
Yep, Steam for PC and Mac, and then consoles. We're working on it. We'll have some announcements hopefully very soon on that front. But
You know, I was just thinking is what console it would be great on is the Switch.
yeah, I agree. That would be really cool. That's kind of one of the ultimate goals of
Think about
releases
it, Nick.
to play it on my Switch.
That'd be sweet because it's like it gives you the tactile feedback of that controller that you were talking about, and then also the portability of a mobile game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Switch is a nice 1-2 punch there.
But I don't know how Nintendo is about getting games on it or anything.
Yeah, they definitely have extended their indie product line. There are a ton of indies going there now.
Okay, good.
It's all a matter of whether it makes sense for us to kind of pursue that in the market. So obviously we're going to launch to PC, iOS, like mobile, iOS and Android first, and go from there.
And then do a console release like afterwards. Yeah, because I'd imagine that's a lot more like developmental.
Yes,
hurdles
yeah.
to-
Having that also broken up is nice on our end because releasing to 3 storefronts simultaneously is also going to be a lot of work for 2 people. So
Right. I would definitely get
Yeah,
that.
because 3 platforms means 3 sets of different bugs.
yeah,
That could
absolutely.
happen.
Right.
Yeah, and especially on mobile, there are so many different. I mean, I guess this is also true for PC, but so many different kinds of things people can play on.
Right.
So
Tablets and
optimization is a pretty interesting.
Wow. Yeah,
task.
because you think about because if you're on an iPhone or an iPad or a Samsung or a LG or
whatever phone,
or
and
a
then you have
Gizmo Goopa.
Yeah, and technology 5 years ago on phones especially is significantly different than.
That is true because how many people still use an iPhone 5?
right.
But
or,
we have to build for it, so it's
or people using like they might have an updated phone, but they want to play on their tablet, which might be 5 years old or something.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
That's a lot of challenges. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
Well,
'cause-
awesome, man.
Yeah, because if somebody pays for a product, they're going to want it to run.
Right.
Yeah,
Precisely.
definitely.
Wow, I'm excited. Are you guys on Twitter?
We are. Yes.
Before go ahead.
You can follow Norman Sniden on Twitter at Bactrian Games, Bactrian. And we're also on Steam. You can wishlist us right now. That's a huge help for kind of visibility. But yeah, like I said, we're coming to iOS and Android. Hopefully we'll have kind of our store page up before our launch. But Twitter is where you'll find all of our news and yeah.
I just wishlist you.
I did too.
Yeah.
We're both on there. Well, thanks, Nick. It's been great talking to you again.
Yeah, thank you. This has been a fun second podcast.
Well, it's second podcast, first release, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Talk to you later.
All right, take care.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of
Working Class Nerds.